Now, we are going to complete the last part of the lesson, resource and development. Now, children, see, we have done all the various aspects of soil. And now we come to the last part of soil. And the last part of soil is none other than the various types of soil. Now, in some countries, soil is known by its texture. In some countries, soil is known by its color. But in India, we have a totally different setup according to which we are going to name the soils. Now, we name the soils according to various factors. Like we have them called as alluvial soil, black soil, redder soil. Black soil is also called redder soil. Laterite soil, we call it as red and yellow soil. There are mountain soil, desert soil. We give them different names. Now, kindly take out your textbooks and you will come to classification of soils. Come to classification of soils. Now, children, you will write the following criteria. Please mark out the following criteria. Please mark out the following criteria. Please write them out. And what points I am going to give you, you are going to write them in their respective headings. First, location. First, location. That is where these particular crops are found. Second, children, you are going to write the content of the crop. Content means chemical content of the crop. What is the chemical content of the crop? Third is the characteristics of the soil. That is very important. First is location. Second is content, that is the chemical content of the soil. Third is characteristics, and the fourth is crops. What are the crops that are grown in that particular area? Okay, in that particular soil, what are the crops that are going to be grown out there? Now, alluvial soil, second line, point number 1. The entire northern plains are made of alluvial soil. These have been deposited by 3 important Himalayan river systems, the Indus, Ganga, Brahmaputra. These soils extend in Rajasthan and Gujarat. Alluvial soils are also found in the eastern coastal plains, particularly in the deltas of Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri. Now, all these points, and you may only use the names, beta. Only use the names instead of the complete sentences when you are making your notes. Secondly, beta, second point, alluvial soil consists of sand, silt and clay. Now, this is what you are going to write in content. What does alluvial soil contain? Under the heading of content, you are going to write it. Number 3, in the upper reaches of the soil, the river valley, places near the slope, break of the slope, the soil is coarse. Such soils are common in pigment plains such as Duars, Chos and Tarai. Now, children, see, when a river comes down a mountain, the river is carrying the soil along with it. The soil which is a little coarse, excuse me, is left at the foot of the mountain. And as the river moves forward, it carries only the fine silt or what we call alluvium with it. The thicker or coarser alluvium is left just at the foothill of the mountain system. Now, these words, tuars, tors, and tarai, please highlight these words because they will come in perhaps 1 mark questions, objective questions. Leave 2 lines. Point number 4. Alluvial soil can be classified as old alluvium Bangar, new alluvium Khadar. Bangar soil has higher concentration of kankar nodules than Khadar. It is more fine particles and is more fertile than the Bangar. Now, children see, the Khadar, there are 2 types of alluvium. One is bitter where every year it floods, and every year there are flooding and rains taking place, and the alluvium is spread over areas. That is called new alluvium. Old alluvium is maybe some time back, couple of years back or decades back, there might have been floods in that region. But the topsoil, the fine alluvium has been washed away. What is left is, the alluvium which is of a thicker and a coarser variety. The alluvium which is of a thicker and a coarser variety. That is what is left. Now, that is what is left. And that is called Bangar because perhaps it's not so very fertile. The Khadar soil is very, very fertile. Next paragraph, point number 5. These soils contain adequate proportion of potash, phosphoric acid, and lime. Now, this will again come into the chemical content. And sugarcane, paddy, wheat, and other cereal and pulses crop. Now, these will come under the crops grown in the alluvial soil. Come down to the black soil. Point number 1, Victor, you will put it in characteristics and you will write in bracket name. Now, black soil is known by 3 names. Okay, the 3 names of black soil is known as black soil because it is black in color. It is known as cotton soil because it is good for the growth of cotton, and it is called regur soil because regur soil is the soil that is adequate in the growing of this. That is the actual characteristic name of this particular crop. Sorry, of this particular soil. Just a minute, children, please, just a second. Okay. Now, children, let's come to black soil. First point, these soils are black in color and also known as regur soil. Black soil is ideal for growing cotton and is also known as black cotton soil. Leave 2 lines, children. This soil is typical of the Deccan Trap basalt region spread over northwest Deccan Plateau and is made up of lava flows. Number 3, plateaus of Maharashtra, Saurashtra, Malwa, Madhya Pradesh, and Chhattisgarh, and extend in the southeast direction along the Godavari and Krishna valleys. Number 4, black soils are made up of extremely fine, that is clayey material. They are well known for their capacity to hold moisture. Children, put point number 5. Rich in soil nutrients such as calcium carbonate, magnesium, potash, and lime. Now, number 5 only, these soils are poor in phosphoric content. Now, point number 6, you mark it as important. They develop deep cracks during the summer season, and which helps in the proper aeration of the soil. These soils are sticky when wet and difficult to work on unless tilled immediately after the first shower or during the pre-monsoon period. Now children, let me explain this particular point to you. Now these soils, black soil, they are known by very different names. Firstly, they are known as Rega soil, they are known as black soil, they are known as even cotton soil. Now the characteristics of this particular soil is they are found in the basaltic region of the Deccan caused by volcanic eruption. Secondly, Britta, what we find is in these particular regions, what we see is these soils are so dry that they crack during the summer season, and deep cracks is very good because sunlight penetrates deep into these cracks, and when the sunlight penetrates deep into the cracks, it adds to the fertilizers. It adds to the fertilization of that particular crop. Another thing is this soil, it is very chikna, very sticky and very slippery. So the moment somebody, it starts to rain and the soil is little down, they have to plow it, or they will have to plow it before the crop really starts. Before the monsoon starts, so that they can break the soil. They can break the soil before they can start planting the crop. Otherwise, if it rains, it becomes sticky. It's going to become very difficult for the crop, for the tractor even to move on that soil. Now, next come to red and yellow soil. Point number 1. Red soil develops on crystalline igneous rocks in areas of low rainfall. Children, see, red soil you will find in areas of low rainfall, whereas laterite soil we find in areas of very, very heavy rainfall. Number 2, eastern and southern parts of Deccan Plateau, yellow and red soils are found in parts of Orissa, Chhattisgarh, southern parts of the middle Ganga plain along the pigment zone of the western Ghats. Number 3, the soils develop a red color due to the diffusion of iron in crystalline and metamorphic rock. It looks yellow when it occurs in a hydrated form. Now, children, what we need to note is these soils are found in areas which are very rich in iron. Because of the iron content, these soils are red in color. But where they receive a little heavier rainfall, the red color gets washed away and what is left is the yellow color. Now, laterite soil. First point, laterite has been derived from the Latin word later, which means bricks. Laterite soil develops in areas with high temperature and heavy rainfall. Now, where there is high temperature and very heavy rainfall, you find laterite soil. Number 3, humus content of the soil is low because of the microorganisms, particularly the decomposers like bacteria, they destroy due to high temperature. So then what happens is because of the very high heat and the high temperature, all the microorganisms are dead. So the humus content is less. Leave a line. Number 4. These soils are found in Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Madhya Pradesh, and hilly areas of Orissa and Assam. Leave a line. Point number 5. Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. The soil is useful for growing tea and coffee. Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, and Kerala also suitable for crops like cashew nuts. So these are the crops that are grown in this particular area. Arid soil. First point. Arid soil is from red and brown in color. Number 2, sandy in texture and saline in nature. Number 3, in some areas the soil content is high and common salt is obtained by evaporating the water. Number 4, due to dry climate, high temperature, the soil lacks humus and moisture. Number 5, the low horizons of the soil are occupied by concord. Number 6, leaf to lines, the proper irrigation, these soils become very fertile. Now children, what we see is arid soils are dry soils, they're desert soil, high in the content of salt. They are very fine, but if they get moisture, only then they can be used very well for growing of crops. Forest soil, first point. Found in the hilly and mountainous areas where sufficient forests are available. Number 2, they are loamy and silty in the valley sides and coarse-grained in the upper slopes. Now, when they come down, the fine soil will come down. But when they're on the top of the mountain, we will have the coarser variety since the top soil, the finer soil, has all washed away. Number 3, acidic with low humus content. Number 4, found in the lower parts of the valley, particularly on the river terraces and alluvial farms are fertile. So at the foothills of the mountain, the soil is very fertile since it comprises of only the fine alluvium. Now, what is soil? Come to the last point. Soil erosion and soil conservation. The denudation means weathering, breaking up of soil and subsequent washing down. That is breaking up of soil plus transportation, that is called soil erosion. Leaf to lines, due to human activities, please highlight human activities. Deforestation, overgrazing, construction and mining. These are the causes of land degradation. Natural forces like wind, glacier, water lead to soil erosion. Now highlight running water. Running water cuts through the clay soil and makes deep channels and gullies. The land becomes unfit for cultivation and is known as bad land. Now you can see the photograph which is given to you out here, how badly flowing water has spoiled the land. This is called gully erosion. And the land becomes unsafe for irrigation or for any kind of agriculture. It is called bad land. Now, sometimes water flows down as sheets over large areas down a slope. This is known as sheet erosion. Next, highlight wind erosion. Wind blows loose soil off the sloping land, known as wind erosion. Soil erosion is caused due to the defective methods of farming. Plowing in the wrong way up and down the slope form channels for the quick flow of water leading to erosion. So when we do wrong methods of farming also, that also leads to soil erosion. Now, what are the solutions? Number 1, plowing along contour lines. Contours means in circles. Next line, steps can be cut on the slopes while making terraces. On the mountain, cut steps like how they do in Assam. Leaf to lines. Number 3, large fields are divided into strips. Strips of grass are left to grow between the crop. Don't have one big plot, divided into parts. Between each part, grow grass. Number 4, this planting of lines of trees to create shelter also works in a similar fashion. Rows of such trees are called shelter belts. Now, all around your field, what we need to do is, we need to grow crops, grow grass, and this grass that we are going to grow between the field, between the plot, that will help in soil erosion.